built in 1920 as a nurse's residence. It was named after Mr. W. D. Long and Mrs. George H. Bisbee, who donated the land for the sanatorium in 1906, and was the fourth sanatorium to be built in Canada to treat tuberculosis. It began as a 2-tent operation located on a farm where 8 patients were able to be treated. The tents were replaced by cottages, which were not well insulated against the winter. The cottages were themselves replaced by brick buildings. The original 96 acres of land was designated as a healing space for Hamilton area residents suffering from tuberculosis in the early 1900s. What started out as an area to quarantine the sick grew into a sanatorium with 700 patients and 450 staff at its peak. This piece of land was chosen to treat the ill due to the circulation patterns of the fresh air. The swirling winds made it easier for patients with restricted lung functionality to breathe. On September 26, 1916, the Hamilton Health Association agreed to build the Brow Infirmary. The Brow Infirmary was built to treat World War I soldiers suffering from tuberculosis and lungs exposed to poisonous gases. The location of the infirmary was intended to keep the often rowdy sodders away from the other patients and to take advantage of the air breeze that was available on the location. The cost to build the Brow Infirmary was $146,569, which opened on December 5, 1916. Care for soldiers of WW1 who had contracted TB. It was surmised that fresh air, exercise, and good nutrition would help a patient fortify themselves against tuberculosis, and sanatoriums were conceived of as airy natural spaces. In 1930, the Hamilton Sanatorium became the largest in Canada. However, as the TB epidemic evolved and drug therapy was developed to treat tuberculosis in 1943, the sanatorium's primary population of care became Inuit people who were shipped down from northern Canada by the RCMP. There was no significant investment made to treat them in their home communities. This represents an enduring colonial legacy for Canada, as many of the Inuit patients treated here were forcibly removed from their homes and families. Often during the course of years-long treatment, these patients lost the ability to communicate in their native languages and the ability to connect with their communities. Many died thousands of miles away from their families. In 1961, existing drug therapies for tuberculosis meant that sanitariums became redundant, and the sanatorium buildings became the Chidok General Hospital before closing altogether. Thank you, History Pin, for the information. It became a daycare center in 1982, owned by Chidok Hospital, and then the YMCA took it over around 2006, continuing its use as a daycare. In 2020, last standing sanatorium building to receive heritage protection. 1,274 Eastern Arctic Inuit patients from Baffin Island to Ellesmere Island were treated at the Hamilton Sanatorium as part of their therapy, and to cope with boredom, they were encouraged to carve images of their Arctic experience in soapstone. Hope you enjoyed the history and the pictures I took.